He was once one of the most recognizable faces in Kenyan gospel. But over the last few years, he's quietly faded out of the scene and become the face of not so holy situations. This is the rise and fall of Ringtone. Ringtone was born as Alex Apoko in Kisii County. About his age, different online sources give conflicting years of birth, with some claiming he was born in 1994 and others 1989. Personally, I think he was born in 1989. I refuse to believe Ringtone is only 5 years older than I am. Life wasn't very easy for Ringtone. His father died before he even got to know him, and his mother abandoned him. He was left under the care of his grandmother, who struggled to make ends meet. Unfortunately, his grandmother later died and Ringtone became a street boy. The street life wasn't very ideal for him. He tried many money-making avenues, but he felt that none of them would bring him closer to his dreams. In an interview with former actor/radio presenter turned politician Jalango, Ringtone said that he decided to try his luck elsewhere.
I've been a street boy, I've been a shoeshiner, I've been employed in second and close Kawangware. Mpaka mwisho nikafika point and after shortcut ya kuachieve his dreams, ndege, nyumba ya cemented, kwenda America na kukua sonko. So nikawa natafuta shortcut. Nikasikia Mombasa kuna kwanga na washosho wazungu, wanyenye wazungu. Sasa wanyenye wazungu nikaambiwa ukienda Mombasa wakuoe wanakufanyanga sonko. Mimi machokora madem walikuwa wananiambianga mimi ni handsome. Hata history ya kuwa handsome haijaanza saa hii. Hata kwa street I used to be the most handsome guy. Kwa machokora I was the most handsome chokora on the street. So machokora madem walikuwa wananiambianga nyewe ni mhandi. So wakaniambia ukienda Mombasa kwanza wewe unachukuliwa na mzungu. So hiyo ikani-inspire nikatafuta njia ya kwenda Mombasa. Na nikaenda pale Kenya Railway Station, nikalilia mtu anakata tickets, akani-introduce kwa driver train. The following day by saa 2 saa 3 niko Mombasa, nikatafuta njia nikafika beach inaitwa Pirates. So hiyo ndio nilikuwa naulizanga beach. Nilifika Mombasa nauliza beach iko wapi? Mahali wazungu wanakujanga. So nikaambiwa beach, nikafika Pirates. So nilikuwa na imagining nikienda Pirates nitapata wazungu wako wengi. Hata nilikuwa nimejipanga, nilikuwa nimejipanga. Sikuwa nataka kwenda country nyingine, nilikuwa nataka tu America. So nilikuwa nimejipanga nifika Mombasa, hata mzungu, Muitaliano akiniongelesha. Ananiambia, "Hey," namuuliza which country, akisema Italy nasema mzungu kama ni wa German, akiniambia namuuliza which country, akisema German namwambia kama ni America. Yeah!
But it seemed like Ringtone wasn't really cut out for the beach boy lifestyle, because it lasted only for a day. So much for being handsome. Ironically, this is the same day he would meet a beach vendor who would help turn his life around.
Kwa beach the whole day. Ningopata mzungu nikakosa. Giza ikaanza kuingia jioni. Nikaona jamaa mwingine Mkenya anauza curios.
Hizi badili
za Kimasai. Nikajaribu jamaa hizi vitu anauzia wazungu. Maybe nikibonga na yeye anaweza niambia vile
wazungu wako wapi. Wamama wazee.
So jamaa nikamapproach. Kwanza alikuwa Mkamba. Huyu jamani because nitoka Pirates nikatembea, nilikuwa na imagine maybe wazungu wako huko mbele.
Pirates ukitoka alafu unafika
nikafika
White Sand ukienda paka Travelers.
So nikafika Travelers. Nikapata jamaa ameweka curious hapo kama vitu.
Huyo Mkamba sasa.
Nikamwambia baba, mimi natafuta mzungu. Nikamwambia ukinisaidia, I swear nikienda America sitakusahau. Nikirudi nitakuwa nakuletea vitu. Huyu jamaa kaniangalia kutoka juu mpaka chini. Akiniambia wewe kijana, wewe ni mdogo sana nafaa kuwa shule. Kwani unatafuta mnyanya mzungu? Nikajiambia huyu jamaa lazima nimguze roho. Lazima niombe life story yangu. Maybe anaweza nihurumia, asympathize na nisaidie. Huyu jamaa kumwambia life story yangu. Huyu jamaa kaniambia wewe kijana, hauhitaji mzungu ndio ufaulu kwa maisha. Nikamuuliza, "Then unasema unamaanisha aje?" Akaniambia wewe unahitaji Mungu. Nikamwambia mimi najua hata kuhubiri. Naweza kukuombea saa hii. Mimi najua kupreach, najua Bible verses, lakini huyo Mungu hajanisaidia. Akaniambia hapana. In short huyo jamaa akanipreachia. Akaniambia nataka uokoke, uaccept Yesu akuwe baba na Bwana na Mwokozi wa maisha yako. In short he led me to receive Jesus. Akaniombea, akaniambia leo jaribu Yesu, leo peke yake. Akikataa kukusaidia uachane na yeye milele. Nikaamua in short akaniombea, nikaokoka, akanipeleka kwake. The following day akanipeleka church yao inaitwa Deliverance Church Makupa, karibu na Chuda hapo Mombasa. Church ikanigetea mahali nilienda kukaa, nikarudishwa shule, nikasoma mpaka nikamaliza from Mombasa High School. Then nianza music niko form 2. Juu church ilikuwa kama home. Mimi najua kucheza piano, drums nini. Then nikaanza kuunda mabeat na piano ya kanisa na floppy disk na junior mabeat na kirap nini. Then kutoka pale I ended up ni record song yangu ya kwanza actually kabla nimalize high school. Na ilikuwa ni Tabasamu Records. Ilikuwa inaitwa Maisha Bila Si Maisha.
Tunayoishi nasema si maisha. Sister wateseko kiishi bila Yesu. Maisha nayoishi nasema si maisha. Brother wateseko kiishi bila Yesu.
But it was this song that really put him on the map.
Sasa gospel inabamba, watu wote waipenda. Sasa gospel imeshika, watu wote waicheza. Sasa gospel inabamba, watu wote waipenda. Sasa gospel imeshika, watu wote waicheza.
And from there, Ringtone released hit after hit, quickly cementing his place in Kenyan urban gospel.
Pamela njoo kwa Mungu, bado anakupenda. Ni nini kilichokufanya kwake Mungu we uhepe? Natumia talanta yangu ambayo Mungu alinipa. Natumia talanta yangu ili niweze kuenda mbali. Muziki ni dawa, ukisikiza utakuwa sawa. Muziki ni dawa, ndio maana mimi ninaimba.
So you're probably thinking that his success came just from making music, right? Wrong. Because to tell you the truth, music doesn't pay that well in Kenya. I mean, you can't just survive purely off of music. You will go broke. That's the fastest way to poverty as a musician. Most musicians have other career paths that they are either pursuing or pursued before getting into music. I'll give you an example. Elani, I think it's the guy that was a lawyer and one of the girls. But here, you see, you can't just afford to just be a musician. You need another path. Another example I can give you is Wahu. Wahu is a whole mathematician. She studied, if I'm not wrong, pure math in university. She's a whole mathematician. So her, she can comfortably go and teach math anywhere in the world. Like, kama music haimlipi vizuri, she can always fall back on her mathematics and become a teacher or just something to do in that field. Same case to her husband. Her husband, Nameless, is a whole architect. So ata yeye, the music nini ikikosa kumlipa vizuri, he can always go and design houses for people and get his money. Because this country, music does not pay that well. We have so many structural barriers, from just money to even just put out a song is so expensive that when you do the math of the take home that you get after like an album or a show and all that stuff, it's not giving. And then you have bodies like MCSK, which are stealing from artists when in reality they are supposed to be helping artists to make money. So in Kenya, you can't really just rely on music alone. You will go broke. You have to supplement it with endorsements from brands and probably go back to school and pursue other disciplines outside of music. Otherwise, ukijifanya ati you can just live off of music purely. It's a lie. So, how did he really make his money? When Ringtone was starting his career in the 2000s, he was under the mentorship of Rafton, who by this time was already a big name in the gospel industry. Besides doing music, Rafton would do high school missions where he visited Kenyan high schools to give motivational talks and preach the gospel. Seeing how successful Rafton was with his school tours, Ringtone decided to follow the same formula but with a twist.
Praise God, this is Ringtone, and I just wanted to let you know as in how we run our ministry and how we go about it to go and minister to the young people as in all over the country. And basically this is how we do it. Our equipment, this is my radio, this is my home radio, and this is my DVD player. This is what we go use in schools when we go preach the young people. So basically we pick this radio, we pick this and this, we put in the car, and after that we're on our way to go and minister the young people. But what I can say is we've seen, as in through this radio, as in being able to reach out to many thousands and thousands of young people in high schools, in colleges, in universities, in primary schools, even in nursery schools, as in we've reached to thousands of the people in this in this country. And you can ask yourself, if with this radio we've reached thousands, what about if we had a PA system? We seriously believe if we had a good public address or PA system, we could reach to millions of young people in East Africa and beyond, in Uganda, in Tanzania, and in Africa. And maybe one day reaching out to all the young people in high schools, colleges, and universities around the world. Yes.
Bwana asifiwe sana wasikilizaji wote kwenye radio na TV kokote kule mnatusikia. Nadhani yani hii ndio ile mmekuwa mkisubiri sana, yani bongo ya gospel kutoka kwa wasanii Ringtone na Mwasi. Au vipi Masera? Sitia shaka. Leo ni leo, wasema kesho ndugu. Jamani ni bongo, ngoma ya Mungu ndugu, wewe cheza tena usiogope. Leo ni leo, wasema kesho.
Okay, this is our car that we use in doing the ministry. You can see how squeezed it is. We have to carry our radio and stuff here, but one thing I can say is that still it hasn't hindered us from reaching out to the young people. Now here we leave to go on mission on tour. The tour will take us around 8 hours. We believe by the time we reach there it will be dark in the night. We are going to a school called Losios Girls High School, Losios Second High School Girls. And bye. Say bye to them. Bye.
He focused on hard selling his past as a street kid, which worked extremely well for him because people love a good sob story, especially if it involves rags to riches. He didn't just sell his story. Whenever he'd visit these schools, he would carry his CDs and sell them to the students through their teachers.
Nilikuwa na visit 10 schools per week. Na nilikuwa na kile shule nikienda, especially nilikuwa napenda kwenda shule za madem because hao ndo wana appreciate talent, lakini nilikuwa na mix za maboys kiasi. 10 in those 10 schools per week, nilikuwa kila shule nikiingia natoka na not less than 50,000. Because shule iko na madem 1,000. Naenda na music yangu, naenda kuuza CD at 100 bob. Nikiuzia half the school, niko na 50,000.
You know what else pays very well in this country? Political affiliations. In an interview with Betty Chalo back in 2019, Ringtone admitted that he made a significant amount of money working with former President Uhuru Kenyatta during his 2013 campaign.
I made a lot of money in 2013 when I supported, when President Uhuru Kenyatta used my song.
And that was enough money to have like a house in Runda, in Karen.
Let me ask you, can you imagine you have a campaign for, like, for example, 90 days, where you are being paid like 500,000 every day? How much is that in 90 days? That's a lot of money. And so, really, that's a lot of money to buy your house in Runda.
Really?
Yeah.
This is the song in question.
Jubilation tumeshinda, celebration tumeshinda.
Ringtone's gospel career continued to thrive, but along the way, things started getting a little weird.
I'm not controversial.
Can I tell you why?
I am real.
Can I?
There is a difference between controversial and real. Betty, I'm real.
Let's start with the high school tours. I noticed that Ringtone had a tendency to minister to mostly girls' schools. This isn't just an observation I made out of thin air, by the way.
Especially nilikuwa napenda kwenda shule za madem because hao ndo wana appreciate talent, lakini nilikuwa na mix za maboys kiasi.
I've met several ladies who shared how Ringtone would come to their schools and preach to them using his sad story of being a former street kid. So a little story time for you. Fun fact, Ringtone came to my high school when I was in Form 1. So here's how it happened. It was on a weekend as usual, a Saturday. And this is Saturday or Sunday. Anyway, wejua tu, it was on a weekend. So Mimi, I had left for a sort of like trip with the club that I was in. We had gone to do what? We had gone to do some volunteer work at a nearby children's home. Then we came back. We came back at around uko 4 uko jioni. So as we are arriving, we notice watu wamejaa kwa dining hall. There are so many people packed in the dining hall, which was unusual for like our routine on weekends, where everyone is just at the dining hall at the same time on a weekend. So I decided to check it out, and lo and behold, it's Ringtone. We actually found him in the middle of, I think, preaching, and then from there he narrated his usual story of how he grew up poor, how he suffered as a street kid. Yeah, the usual that he usually shares. Then he performed a few songs of his, and then akimalizia hapo mwisho, he told us how he has a clothing line called Ringwear. And what was in that clothing line, you ask? T-shirts. Imagine, t-shirts. So akatuambia if we wanted the t-shirts, one was going for 180 bob, 180 shillings, and the other 200 shillings. So if we wanted the shirts, we should, at least was going to go round per class, and we'd write our names down and the price of the shirt we wanted. And then we submit the list to our class teachers, and then the class teachers submit the list to him. Then he makes the order, then analeta shati. So see, people did that. I actually remember, I think a few people, 1 or 2 people in my class who bought the t-shirts, and also a few others around the school bought the t-shirts. So si wakapiga order, zikaletwa. As usual, si kila mtu alipata t-shirt. Not everyone got a t-shirt. Some people never got their t-shirts. Yet they paid, mind you. The ones who got, I even remember how they looked like. So they were just the usual round neck. They were round neck t-shirts. And then one was lilac lavender, that shade of purple. Alafu at the back it was written Ringwear. And then the other type was black, but with purple writing of Ringwear. And then after some time, those shirts started fading because of very poor quality. Nile hata unaangalia tu na macho and you can clearly tell, hizi Z. Z. Yeah, that is my small experience with Ringtone coming to our school. Of course, I didn't buy Mimi. Yeah. No, there's no way someone is just coming to our school and telling us he has a clothing line called Ringwear. First of all, that's close to sounding like ringworm, and no, just no. No way. Anyway, after this, other gospel artists and DJs also started to slowly adopt this model of visiting mostly girls' high schools, in the name of ministry and targeting young, impressionable girls. It's interesting that they rarely went to boys' schools. They were mostly targeting girls' schools. It's very interesting to me because when you think about it, of course, girls are more impressionable and more vulnerable than boys. And then you have these grown men coming to girls' high schools in the name of preaching and ministry. And you have school administrations entrusting these grown men again with these young girls' lives in the name of mentorship and fellowship and ministry and Bible study and all that stuff. That doesn't sound very appropriate, because I remember about 7 years ago, back in around 2019, one of these gospel motivational speakers / ministers was exposed. His name is Ken Gomiri, and he had specialized in this visiting of girls' high schools and ministering to them and whatnot. He even had a whole camp where teenagers would attend during school holidays. And he was exposed for being inappropriate with girls who are underage.
So at that point, we are almost crying. We're frustrated. We don't know what to do. We cannot sleep on the floor. It was just not a good experience. So he goes, showers, he's walking around in his towel, telling us to shower also, and he tells us to choose, because now he's sleeping on one bed and his friend on the other bed, so we choose who is sleeping with who.
So yeah, to me, this model is very, very suspicious. And I'm not saying that Ringtone was doing these things, though, so I personally found this model very weird. This thing of targeting girls' high schools and going to preach to them and whatnot. The weirdness didn't stop there. Over the years, Ringtone has been very vocal about his search for a wife. This desperation has led him to places where he clearly never stood a chance. Like in 2018, when he famously shot his shot at Ugandan socialite Zari Hassan after her breakup with Diamond, Ringtone bought a new Range Rover for Zari and even offered up his current home for her and her children.
We did not buy her car because she cannot afford. Nilishaisema kwamba I've put in public my intention or my intention of wanting to marry her. Humbly asking her if she, wherever she is, to consider that she needs a man who is God-fearing, who is tall, who is handsome, who knows how to smile, and a man who will not give her trouble. No, it's okay. She needs somebody who will not give her trouble, somebody who will lead her to church, somebody who will not lead her to to the wrong things. Me, the only thing I can do is just to lead Zari to church. Alafu unajua nikiangalia Zari, because she's an entrepreneur, anaweza kuwa mama wa kanisa mzuri sana. Mama wa zile chama za church, mwenye ataleta maendeleo kwa kanisa.
Ataleta maendeleo kabisa.
Yes,
all right, and there's a picture we want to show our viewers at home of you buying cattle, cows. You say that you bought around 42 cows to take to Zari Hassan's home in Uganda. I believe we have those pictures on your screens. And was that a publicity stunt? Do you have the cows, and where are they being kept?
The cows are in one of my pieces of land in Karen.
His name is Ringtone. Have you heard of him? And what do you think?
I didn't know about this guy until I did a few interviews this morning. I still don't know who this guy is. Never met him, never chatted with him. He claims to be chatting with me. I'm not chatting with him. I don't know him. I only heard this morning like this guy, he bought you a Range Rover and rings. I'm the queen of rings. I'm wearing diamonds. So I don't think I need a ring from him. Range Rover, I just got myself one last week. I don't think I need that. So I love his carriage. The fact that, he just woke up and said, I need to get a Range Rover, a house, a ring, 800 cows, whatever it is. I mean, that is really courageous. Like, big up to Ringtone. But nah, I'm sorry, I'm not interested.
Yeah. Okay, so Zari rejected him, but that didn't stop Ringtone from trying to find his Pamela, because a year later, he was back on the streets. This time, he was carrying posters around Nairobi and holding interviews on different media stations, advertising his need for a wife and the qualities he was looking for.
Niko serious. I'm a man of God. I miss danganyi. So kama kuna mtu ambaye anajua kuomba 5 hours. And actually nilikuwa nimesema pia, unajua maombi pia ni muhimu sana kwa nguzo ya familia. Kweli. So nikasema tukiendanga kesha, tunaombanga the whole night. Alright. So mimi ile ndem natafuta pia akuwe at least anaizomba kama 5 hours akikata ndimi bila kustop, because mimi naombanga kama tukienda kesha saa 3
aombe 5 hours akikata ndimi bila kustop.
Jumina mimi naombanga more than 5. Mimi naombanga around 8-9
hours.
What do you mean unaomba 8 hours? Ndio maana nimefika mahali nimefika. Mimi nimefika hapa kwa sababu ya maombi. Yes.
So mkienda kesha, ukipiga 8 hours yeye anapiga 5 hours. At least 5 akiwa chini yako. Ama kupanda. Na akikata ndimi.
Ringtone anaocheka.
Jalango bana.
Unaucheka sana. Wewe mimi nilikwambia, wachana na hizi siasa mingi, Ringtone imba tu.
Did he listen? Of course not. He was arrested outside of Cooperative University and kicked out of one of the Jubilee Christian Center branches for his shenanigans. You know, I'm starting to think maybe Pamela was never the problem. She just didn't want anything to do with Ringtone. But you know what's ironic? This entire time Ringtone was busy looking for a wife, yet he had a whole baby mama on the side. In 2020, he was exposed by fellow gospel artist Wisdom, signed under former gospel artist Bahati's EMB record label, for being a deadbeat. Ringtone was exposed after he called out Bahati for slipping into the secular world. Wisdom claimed that Ringtone abandoned the lady and their child, alleging that the child was going hungry. The lady, whose name is Angel Nyambura, sued Wisdom for allegedly exposing her child to cyberbullying following the revelations. When she was asked about her child support issues with Ringtone, she said that it was between the two of them. Turns out his baby mama wasn't the only person he wasn't seeing eye to eye with. Over the years, Ringtone has made it his mission to beef with fellow gospel artists and almost the entire Kenyan music industry. A pattern I noticed is that these beefs are usually one-sided, with him as the aggressor most of the time. Like in 2015, when he was so upset at Jaguar's appointment to the Nakada board that he went and badmouthed him on social media. In fact, here's a rundown of some of the people Ringtone has had issues with.
Mimi naweza ambia tu size 8 anatafuta attention, na size 8 hakuna mtu anaweza ombea pepo litoke, because size 8 ni muongo. Size 8 anatafuta tu njia ya kutengeneza pesa. Eric Omondi ni mtu ambaye kazi yake ni ambassador wa usharati So niulize vitu nzuri. Eric Omondi ni mtu ambaye mimi sipendi tabia yake. Kazi yake vipindi ni kuzalilisha wanawake, kuonesha wanawake ni kama ni tools za sex. Unajua, so Eric Omondi tusiongea mambo yake. Yeye ameruka kichwa. Siku nyingine aliposta akiwa uchi. So tusiongea mambo ya Eric Omondi. Tuongee kitu kingine mpya. Na Bahati alikuwa anatafuta clout na mimi. Unajua mimi nimekuwa jina yangu ni kubwa kushinda Bahati. So Bahati alikuwa anajaribu kujifanya maarufu na jina yangu, na unajua alikuwa anajichocha, kuna pesa, sijui kuna nini. Na unajua pesa hazipigi kelele zikiwa kwa mfuko. Maisha yako venye unakaa tu, hata sura yako venye unaangalia venye mimi nakaa, inafaa kusema kama uko na pesa ama una bro. So Bahati anajaribu kucompete na mimi. Na unajua sasa si wasanii wa gospel to compete. Si tuna represent. As I'm concerned, Mr. Sid ni conman. Kwa sababu alituita sisi wote, tukaenda emotionally venye Dadioe na ametuita leo, tukaenda kusupport kazi ya Mungu, tukatoa pesa, tukifikiri Mr. Sid ata invest hiyo pesa kwa kutoa nyimbo za Mungu, za kufanya gospel ingare, lakini Mr. Sid alifanya kuchukua ile pesa yetu, akaenda kushuti nyimbo na wanawake wako uchi, wakisema kwamba sijui tu wanawake ndio dawa ya baridi. Lakini as far as I'm concerned, dawa ya baridi, unajua anadanganya watu na si vizuri. Dawa ya baridi, kunywa maji moto na ndimu. Dawa ya baridi, tafuta makaa, tafuta kuni, washa moto. Hiyo ndio dawa ya baridi. Will Paul ni mwizi. Aliiba pesa za kanisa akaenda kwa club. Na pambana, KRG wadanganye. KRG ana pesa. Ni vitu za family. Wale watu ambao wanajituma ni kama mimi. Mimi ndio niko na pesa.
So KRG hana hela. Na anaishi kwa bonge moja la mansion.
Anaishi kwa nyumba ya grandfather.
Na hizo gari zake
hiyo nyumba si yake.
Hizo ni za family. AMG. Magari mzee za family. Unajua ukitaka kujua KRG kuna gari mpya, angalia gari yake lazima ikuwe mpya. Kijana unanunua gari mpya, KRG kuna gari mzee.
Na KRG kuna talanta.
KRG ana talent.
You know, for someone who branded himself the chairman of the Kenyan gospel industry, Ringtone really has a thing for unnecessary controversy.
Uko na how much say kama ama hujakuja na pesa?
Niko na kama 50 bob.
Uko na 50 bob? 50 bob. Hiyo hata si 50 bob, kwa sababu ilikuwa 5. Na hii ni nini?
Hii?
Yeah.
Hii ni pesa ya sapa.
Pesa ya sapa. Nika how much, hebu nione?
Amina.
Acha tu nione.
Amina, watu watasema naringa.
Watasema hivyo, watasema.
Watu watasema naringa.
Hawatasema. So hii ni how much ya sapa? Hebu nione. Ringtone, let me see.
Maheta watajam.
Let me see, wacha wajam. Kwani watakupeleka wapi mali hawajakupeleka before? So this is what you're carrying around. This is not for supper. Bro. How much is this? How much is this?
Hii ni pesa kidogo sana. Ni kamia tu.
Ni kamia ya sapa. Kwani unatupeleka sisi wote? Look at all this ati for sapa.
Si ama dancers wamedance sana. Na wapeleka nyote.
Unawatipu sisi wote unatupeleka?
Sipendi pesa na pia chakula.
So tugawie pia sisi. Hebu nigawie nipatie watu hapa.
6 cars. So
ziko wapi? Mbona ziko kwa parking? Sisi parking tumeona tu 2 Ringtone.
Umekuja kwa mahali zilikuwa zinaoshwa. So today I decided to offer you a V8 and an Evoque. So uchague which one we will use when you are going around. I have like 2 or more homes.
Where?
Okay, let me say I have a home in Karen. Yes.
So sasa ile
kuna masiku naishi Karen, kuna masiku naishi Runda.
Then you own those 2 houses, yeah?
Yes, I do.
Mimi network yangu, mimi nadhani pesa zangu nikipiga zote pamoja na nadhani inakuwa kama 50 billion.
Kwa hivyo network yako ni 50 billion. Hiyo ni pesa ama ni pesa pamoja na assets?
Network yote. Yaani ukianza kupiga kama venye nimevalia saa ya 10 million, viatu hapa ni 2 million. Trouser hii nilinunua kwa off market kabla ziingishwe zihangiwe, nikainunua hii I think kama 1.8. Jacket hii ni kama 500,000. Hii nayo ni gold ya milioni, na hii sweater nilinunua kama zile top cream ambazo zimekuja na I think ni kama milioni. So ukiangalia mimi lifestyle yangu ndio I think mimi naweza fika kama 50 billion.
It's very clear that Ringtone isn't very good at being silent about his flashy lifestyle. What's not clear though is how exactly he's able to finance it. But I might just have a few ideas. In 2016, he was in the spotlight for allegedly grabbing a house in Runda that belonged to a deceased foreigner. But at the time, a local family claimed to have been living there for more than 3 decades.
The aftermath of a bitter war between a family that claims Ringtone grabbed their home in Runda and his workers. According to the family's lawyer, the house belongs to a foreigner who passed on. The family has been living in the house for 35 years now without any support, and a nephew to the old man, only identified as Ruben, invited Ringtone to help.
After a while, like I think 4 months, Ringtone started taking control of the entire premises. He came with a welding machine, together with the nephew of Mzee now, and they vandalized the entire building.
But Ringtone has a different story. Speaking to NTV on phone, Ringtone said he has been living in the house for more than 2 years now, and there have been no complaints.
Mimi hata sitaki kuingia kwa hiyo controversy ya hiyo shamba. Mimi the only thing is very simple. Mimi nimekuwa nikilipa rent, na mimi si mwenyewe hajaniambia nitoke nyumba. So hizo side shows zingine hao watu walikuja tuliwatuzi kama wezi na walipigwa. Alafu the thing is walishikwa. So mimi the rest ni police. Mimi sijui mali naingilia.
The lawyer claims drama unfolded when they attempted to retrieve Mzee Ruben's belongings from the house. The singer allegedly rammed the vehicles parked on the driveway in an attempt to scare them away.
He came, full speed, and then started smashing cars. Together my car is also smashed. Even up to now, the same Ringtone is not arrested.
Yeah, I didn't do anything like that. What happened, the people invaded my compound. Alafu wafanyakazi wangu wakapiga nduru, maaskari nini, all the neighbors came. Alafu hao ndio walivunja hizo. So me I'm not aware, but niliona zimevunjwa.
The lawyer claims the police are reluctant to arrest Ringtone, but Ringtone says he is the complainant. NTV cannot independently verify allegations from either side.
That wouldn't be the last time Ringtone would be involved in a land grab scandal, because 9 years later, in May of 2025, he was caught up in yet another land case. This time with clear evidence that he was the perpetrator.
Our gospel musician Alex Apoko, also known as Ringtone, is to spend the weekend behind bars after a Nairobi court denied him bail in a case where he's accused of defrauding a businesswoman, Teresia Adhiambo, of land worth 50 million shillings. Ringtone and his co-accused Alfred Juma Ayora face charges of defrauding, forgery and perjury. The allegation is that on February 28, 2023, the duo falsely swore in an affidavit that the controversial artist had lived on the land for 2 decades.
So I did a little digging, and it turns out these two cases aren't the only times Ringtone has been accused of trying to grab land. According to a blog article by mwakilishi.com, Ringtone was accused of illegally occupying a home in Karen that was registered under the name of the late, this is going to be a difficult name to pronounce, the late Kongkong Polino Matip, a South Sudanese national, in 2023. Ringtone, along with 5 others, faced charges of malicious property damage and assault at Kibera law courts, all of which they denied. In 2021, he was involved in another land grabbing case in Runda. The property was linked to the late Mona. Well, these names are not, they're not easy. The late Mona Ingegard, the other name I'm not even going to try to pronounce. Anyway, this person passed away in 2007.
Nimetoka ndani kama nimetishiwa. Mimi ni Mkenya. Niko Kenya kwetu. Nimefanywa madhambi. So, sikutaka kuongea kwa sababu naona hakuna mtu mwenye ambaza anaweza nielewa. Naona watu wamecreate perception kwamba mimi ni mgaidi, na hii nyumba nimekuwa nikiishi, nguo zangu ziko hapo, viti zangu ziko vitanda, nalala mahali naishi, na post videos ukiangalia kwa social media zangu ni mahali nimekuwa nikiishi. Lakini kwa sababu ya ugaidi watu wamenifanyia madhambi yote. Mimi siwezi iba kitu ya mtu. Mimi najua mimi naogopa Mungu. Siwezi iba kitu ya mtu. Mtu atokea aseme nimeiba kitu yake.
Anyways, so where is Ringtone? What is he currently up to? Well, he is still around. In fact, I checked his Instagram and he seems to be back to ministering in high schools because in February, he posted a video of him going to preach at, you guessed it, a girls' high school. As for the recent land case, the Director of Public Prosecutions was to give an update after reviewing the police files in September last year, but it's been crickets ever since. With that being said, thank you so much for listening. Remember to follow the Raw Pod on all our socials, share this episode, and you can also share some content ideas that you may want to see on the Raw Pod. Stay tuned for the next episode and let's get real and raw right here on the Raw Pod with me, Renee Were.